Turning our attention to the calendar and college football, we are just 3 skinny little days away from putting toe to leather on the college football season. We got the top 3 players entering the season. The full top 100 is headed to ESPN.com. Starting at number 3, Buckeye safety Caleb Downs, second season in Columbus after transferring from Bama. Downs, first team All-American last season, helped Ohio State win a natty. Number 2, Texas linebacker Anthony Hill Jr., second team All-American last season. Hill ranking 4th in tackles, tied for 3rd in tackles for a loss among SEC players. Number 1, it is the Buckeye Jeremiah Smith, broke Big Ten freshman records, more than 1,300 receiving yards, 15 receiving touchdowns last season. We're going to receive from knowledge from this man. A few minutes with Paul Feinbaum this morning to look ahead to the college football season. Do not be distracted by the artwork on these walls. We're going to see Jeremiah Smith in week 1, Paul. Ohio State taking on Texas. Is there a chance that Julian Sayin has a better overall season than Arch Manning?
Yes, and you just mentioned the reason why, and it's not the Andy Warhol paintings behind me, Randy. It's the fact that he has Jeremiah Smith, who is the best player in America. You can look very good, even as an average quarterback, and Julian Sayin is not average at all. You mentioned Caleb Downs coming over from Alabama. Julian Sayin came over from Alabama, too. He spent 3 weeks there practicing for the Saban, remember him? And then he hightailed it off to Buckeye land, and he is going to be very good. I don't think he's as good a quarterback as Arch Manning, but he's got better receivers.
It helps when you have the weapons. Let's talk about C.J. Carr, who gets the nod in South Bend. Notre Dame making that official. That's for week 1. What are your expectations for the Fighting Irish, Paul?
I don't think he is elite. It was a very difficult battle when he finally was declared the winner yesterday. But Notre Dame has an interesting schedule. If they can get by Miami, I think that's the toughest game they'll have in the first half of the season. They are not home free, but they're on their way. They have a couple of SEC schools coming up. Texas A&M will come up there. They'll go to Arkansas. That's not the top of the SEC. They'll play Southern Cal later on, which may or may not be worth anything. So I think Notre Dame with a win against Miami, they'll be a top 3 team and probably heading back to the CFP.
It's not just the Hurricane defense that could pose a problem for Carr. It's the heat. I mean, really, the heat and humidity this early in the season, having to go down there to Miami. Keep an eye on that for the boys from South Bend. Time to bring out
And I don't think he's going to do it this year. He may get to the national championship game, but he will not win it.
I love how you're like, I hate to do this, but give me that shovel. I'm going to bury a second team. Paul Feinbaum, Paul Bearer. We appreciate it on SportsCenter. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, the Little League World Series gave us some for him. South Dakota wins 9-0 Little League Baseball World Series. Rolling on in Williamsport, PA today. 2 winners bracket games to start the festivities. Then it's 2 elimination games. All 4 are on ESPN and ESPN+. Still ahead, Micah Parsons missing games. Jaxson Dart starting for the Giants. Why those are hardly ridiculous when we come back.
Your fantasy draft is coming up, the Smack Talk is starting, and you can raise the stakes by getting your friends in on the action. This season, refer your fantasy league mates to ESPN Bet and earn up to $1,000 in bonus bets. Visit One Fantasy Game. Download the ESPN Fantasy app to play today.
Now. It's over. The Philadelphia Eagles have won Super Bowl 59.
These are valuable lessons. When you lose, you learn.
And the stage electric.
It's gone! Incredible!
this. No one's ever done this. Touchdown! What we gonna do with your mama right now?
Doesn't get any better than this.
It is time to play America's favorite game. Is it ridiculous? With Louis Riddick here on SportsCenter AM. We're going to rapid fire these. The first game is 15 days away. Thursday, September 4th, Louis. Cowboys and Eagles. So we're going to start there. Is it ridiculous to say that there is a chance that Micah Parsons will not suit up for the Cowboys in week 1?
No, it's not ridiculous at all. Look, I think Adam Schefter has articulated this very clearly in his reporting on this situation, that this situation has done nothing, Randy, but deteriorate. And I think, right now, Micah Parsons and his agent, his representation, David Mulugheta, are serious about the fact that they are trying to look for, true market value for this young man. And why shouldn't they? He is really, to me, the epitome of the easy contract. Meaning he's a guy who you drafted, he's homegrown, he's now embarking on his second contract. He has done nothing but produce at an impact position at a high level, and now we're sitting here talking about, well, I thought I had a deal in the offseason and some kind of off the record conversation between an owner and a player, and that is why you're not able to strike a deal right now. If I'm Micah Parsons and I think I can go ahead and withstand, the financial consequences of sitting out, I'm sitting out.
Yeah, I mean, you procrastinate this long, you complicate the situation if you're the Cowboys.
Yeah.
On the other side of the ball, is it ridiculous to think that the Eagles are not the best team in the NFL?
Yeah, I do think it's ridiculous. Look, I think this football team really does return all of the crucial ingredients to make another run at it. But the offensive line, I understand, has some issues right now in terms of health and availability coming out of the gate. But they are still coached by a Hall of Fame offensive line coach in Jeff Stoutland. The quarterback is back. The wide receivers are back. The tight ends are back. On the defensive line, in the interior, they're still just as strong as ever. You've seen in some of the preseason film that they still have guys that can pressure off of the perimeter. They're going to be fine with Zach Baun at linebacker, and they have nothing but playmakers in the secondary and a coaching staff that remains largely intact, minus the offensive coordinator. But Kevin Patullo has been there. They're going to be fine. This team's going to be humming.
That defense, for some reason, doesn't get its flowers. Let's look to the rookies now.
No.
Jaxson Dart should start right now. Is that ridiculous?
No, that's not ridiculous either. And I understand that there's always going to be talk about the fact that, you don't need to rush a young quarterback. Just let him sit and learn behind the veteran. Russell will be fine. Well, have you watched Jaxson Dart this preseason? And I understand it's against 2s and 3s, and preseason is watered down in terms of the level of competition. But what preseason does show you is your level of efficiency and your mastery of the offense and how you execute the fundamentals. And Jaxson Dart has executed in that regard. And on top of it, you can see he infuses this football team with like a certain level of confidence and swagger and fire. And he did the same thing at Ole Miss, where I covered him extensively. Mm-hmm. I think this is a guy who, look, if Brian Daboll thinks he should start, put him in there.
Yeah, man does not lack for confidence, to be sure. And neither does this young man, Shedeur Sanders. This is our last question here. Shedeur Sanders will start for the Browns before October. Is that ridiculous?
Yeah, I think it is. Look, I think this is Joe Flacco's team for the foreseeable future, unless he absolutely falls flat on his face. And you can't forget the fact that Dylan Gabriel was drafted 2 rounds ahead of Shedeur and had a pretty good outing, minus some bad decisions and maybe a few off-target throws against Philadelphia, but by and large looked really good in that preseason game. Mm-hmm. I don't think we'll see him starting anytime soon, regardless of how I feel about his individual talent. I think he still has a long road to go before we see him as QB1.
And maybe it's not the worst thing in the world to not get thrown to the Wolves this early on there in Cleveland, considering what's in front of him and perhaps what he's not.